Schools failed you when they didn't teach you how to open a checking account. But don't worry, your Canadian clerk is here to teach you how. Welcome class to Checking Account Part 2. In Part 1, we had covered what is a checking account and some of the basic fees and information you should be considering before opening up your first checking account or possibly switching your checking account. In Part 2, we're going to be looking more at the nitty-gritty, why you would possibly pick a more expensive or higher level bank account as opposed to a basic one, and some of the rewards and incentives that banks offer if you're interested. So to get started, we're going to be using the same pamphlet that we were using last time. As you can see here, we have the basic, basic plus, the preferred, and the ultimate. Now, as a quick reminder, the basic was the $3.95 a month, the basic plus was $11.95, the preferred was $16.95, and the ultimate was $30.95. We start off with international money transfers. I will say right out the gate, not many people use or need this feature, but if you are an international student, if you're an immigrant, if you are planning on sending money home or overseas, this might be something that you need to think about. Now, if you notice, these three more basic accounts charge you fees every time you want to do that, whereas the ultimate does not. So if this is something that you're going to be doing, you might want to consider going for something a little bit higher tier where you're not going to get penalties for doing your normal day-to-day transactions. The next three all have to do with ABMs or ATMs, depending on which acronym you are familiar with. Now, in, again, the case of each of the lower tiered, you are going to be getting a fee every time you try to use one of those machines when you're out and about living your life and you need to withdraw cash from a machine. It's going to charge you. The only exception here is preferred package, where you get one free and then you get the charges. But if this is something that you're doing relatively frequently, that one free is not going to save you much. Again, whereas the ultimate package here, it's all unlimited. Again, that's why you pay the higher fee, as you get more access to just other options in case you need it. We're going to come down now to overdraft protection. What is overdraft? Well, that's if you overspend out of your main checking account. If you spent more than you actually had in your account, the bank will spot you, as it were. They will extend you some credit to cover the amount that you had paid, even though you don't have the money itself. But they obviously charge you a fee for that, for them offering you that option. With the first three basic ones, fees, again, ultimate, it is free. I am going to point out, though, footnotes with all of these, meaning there might be more data, there might be other subtext there, they might charge you in certain circumstances. I'm not claiming to give you all the information that you need. You would need to read the pamphlets, make sure you're seeing what those footnotes entail, but off of the main page, the main takeaways, this is what we're looking at. Next, we're going to come down to drafts. What is a draft? Well, a draft is if you need to do a big money order, if you need to do a big purchase. So let's say you're going to buy a new car, or maybe you're going to pay off a chunk of student loan, something like that, and it's too big for you to just do a debit transaction with. At that point, you would need to do up a draft, a certified draft. Now again, if you notice, with the mid and lower, it's $9.50. With ultimate, it's free. So if this is something that you think you might need to do fairly frequently in your day-to-day banking, I would probably recommend going with the more expensive package, as $9.50 would add up very quickly. So that's kind of it for the main fees. As I've said, this is not comprehensive. You would need to do the research yourself, verify that there's no other hidden fees, But this is what it would look like if you were to walk into your bank, get handed the pamphlet. These are kind of the important takeaways and understandings that you'd be looking at when considering your needs. Next, we're going to be looking at features and services. So what is features and services? Well, features and services are little rewards, bonuses that banks will offer for having the higher tiered, more premium bank accounts. They want your business, so they will try to reward and give incentives to retain their customers. So starting off, as we can see, from basic and basic plus, nothing. There ain't no rewards given here. Preferred, you get some, but the best is always going to be under the ultimate. So, annual fee rebate on new selected credit cards. What is that? Some credit cards you have to pay a yearly fee to use the credit card. That's not all credit cards, but some of the more expensive credit cards, some of the ones with higher rewards, require a yearly fee. So what this is saying is if you pay for a preferred package the first year, you get it for free. But then after that, you have to pay the yearly fee on that credit card. If you look under Ultimate, though, each year under the Ultimate package, it's free. So you could have better credit cards for free under the Ultimate package. Might be worth considering. This one here, interest rate boost. Again, they both qualify for it. There is a footnote. You would have to read more about it. Whereas, again, the basic ones do not. So let's see what other features there are. We're going to look here. Ultimate rate on GICs. These are investments. Again, nothing. If I could just draw a line straight down this. You get nothing in the basic or basic plus. Preferred, you get a slightly better rate. Ultimate, you get the best rate. US, if you wanted a US interest account, again, if you're an immigrant from the US or you have family in the US or you visit the US a lot or you have business, you name it, this might be something to look at. They both come with no monthly account fee, whereas again, the basic ones do. And you can just follow that down for all of these. Now, safety deposit box, again, we see preferred package doesn't even get that. Ultimate package does. Free trades with iTrade. This is if you were getting into investments and you wanted to buy some stocks. What we're seeing here is, again, basic, you get nothing. Preferred, you get a little. And then ultimate, you get the most. This here, additional bank benefits. Since we are looking at Scotiabank, they have seen Plus program, which is their reward program, but other banks have variations on this. RBC is known for Avion. Again, though, basic banking, basic plus, you don't get any rewards, whereas with the preferred and the ultimate, you could earn rewards. Why is that important? Why am I pointing this out to you? Well, if you're going to be spending the money either way, you might as well get something for it. Now, with these rewards, you can redeem them for food, you can redeem it for gas, you can redeem it for a whole bunch of things. And again, if you're spending the money, you might as well be getting something in return. So I do highly recommend looking for accounts that do offer reward programs of some sort. It does not need to be seen, but if there's any incentive of cashback or rewards, convertible points, anything like that, I highly, highly recommend it because you might as well have your money work for you. And then this proceeds to list a whole bunch of other things that is offered between all the bank accounts. But these are your main takeaways when you're wanting to look at a bank account. And regardless of which of the banks you are looking at getting an account with, pay attention to your monthly fees. Pay attention to the minimum balances, but also pay attention to rewards, to what you're getting in return for it, because cheaper is not always better. What do you need? If you went in right now, you have all the information on the finance part of it, you understand what to be looking for. You know exactly what transaction fees you want to pay and are comfortable paying. How do you open it up? Well, very simply, you need 2 documents from a reliable source. If you notice, reliable. So think driver's license, think passport, think letter from the government, anything like that that is very verifiable, not something that you can replicate. That is what you need to prove your identity and your address and your date of birth to the bank. Another important thing is it has to be original. Don't bring photocopies. Don't bring a picture on your phone. Bring the document. Now, the last one I'm going to point out is endorsement. What is an endorsement? Well, basically, you can go in with just one piece of reliable identification showing your name and your date of birth, as long as there is a respectable person endorsing you. And respectable is a broad term. What the bank is looking for is either another client of theirs putting their stamp of approval on you, or a respectable person in the community giving you their stamp of approval. I would not necessarily bank on the endorsement option. I would, if possible, lean on the 2 documents from a reliable source. So I would recommend just bringing 2 original IDs and pieces of identification. So, in summation, consider what you need your bank account to do for you. As I said, cheaper is not always better. If you are planning on doing a lot of ATM or ABM withdrawals, if you need to send a lot of international money transfers, if you need to send a lot of e-transfers, any of those things, then it might be worth pricing out a bank account that accommodates those things free of charge, as opposed to one that charges you per time that you do it. Research your options. I have covered how and what you should be looking for, but you need to look. Look at the 5 major banks, but also, as I have here, go small. There's lots of other banking options besides the 5 major banks here in Canada. We have lots of credit unions and smaller, more online-only banks that are also just as legitimate that you could do your banking through if that's what works for you. So these 3 all work together for what works for you. So don't just pick something because your friend recommended it. Don't just pick it because I've pointed something out. Do your research and pick what works for you, and that includes where you live. So once again, this has been Checking Account Part 2. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, share it, do all the things. And if you like what you saw here, I hope to see you back, as next time I will be covering savings accounts. We covered checking account. What is a savings account? So again, like and subscribe, and I'll see you back next time.